Hello, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I never thought I would see the day where I was actually starting to post on YouTube, because I've always said I'm not posting on YouTube because it's just not something that I want to do, and I don't know how to work it like I know how to work everything else. But if you don't know who I am and you don't already follow me on TikTok and Instagram, I'm a personal development coach, and I help people with their mental health, and I use my own experiences and my own knowledge of personal development to do that. I had major anxiety, major depression at one point, but it was mostly anxiety. And I was just a very, very unhappy person, a very negative person. And I saw the world in a very, very negative light. And I actually used to think, and I used to say this to myself, I used to think that the world was against us. That's what I used to say. And that was why nothing ever worked out. But that was just because of my mindset, the mindset that I was in, and just everything, just the way that I saw everything. And because I was in a negative mindset, it would basically be like a domino effect, and I would probably manifest all of the negative things that would happen in my day. I would wake up every single day and I would absolutely hate my life, and I would just be like, I just don't even want to get out of bed. That's how bad my life felt. And there was nothing that I could tell you. Like, there was nothing positive that I could think of in my life. It was just ridiculous. So then, when I started personal development, I only started personal development, want to say around maybe 5 years ago, in 2021. And I wouldn't necessarily say I was in the worst place. I actually was a little bit better than, what I used to be, but I needed a way out. All I knew was factory work, and I absolutely hated working in a factory. If anyone hasn't worked in a factory, you basically just feel like a robot and your mind's just ticking, ticking, ticking 24 hours, like all the time. And you've just got so much time to think. And, I needed something that would stimulate my brain to stop me from thinking, basically, because I just used to, like I say, I used to have like so many negative thoughts. And I hated my job. I hated it, but it was all I ever knew. So to get out of that industry, it really, it made me feel anxious because I didn't like change. But yeah, so I was still working in a factory and I hated my life, hated my job, and I decided to take the leap and I decided to get a new job. You know, I think I just got sick of my own shit, if I'm quite honest. That is actually what happened. I got sick of my own shit. I got sick of hearing myself complain and do absolutely fuck all about it. So I actually applied for a different job. And yes, it made me anxious and I was absolutely terrified. But you know what it is? It got me out of my comfort zone and it got me out of that factory work. So if I hadn't have done that, probably wouldn't be where I am today. But in the meantime, whilst I was still trying to apply for different jobs in a different industry, I joined a network marketing company because it seemed like a pretty good outlet at the time. And whilst I was in that network marketing company, the community of people, when I tell you, they were so welcoming and so lovely. But they actually helped me with my mental health, with my mindset, because they taught me personal development. Now, I'd been to therapy, and the very last therapist that I had, I feel like she had a genuine breakthrough with me, because there are still things to this day that I think of that she told me, that she would say to me. And she always told me, I know you're not where you want to be right now, job wise, career wise. She was like, but you need to see everything as a stepping stone. I didn't really understand that at the time. I did understand what she meant, but I couldn't see it at the time. I was just like, well, this is just shit, right? I'm not where I want to be. Like, I want to be there yesterday, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do in life. I didn't know what my purpose was, and I really didn't think I was good at anything. I just, like, if someone was to ask me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, the typical interview question. I would sit there and I would go blank because I'm like, well, I don't know where I see myself in the next 5 days. Never mind the next 5 years. I'm just trying to make it to tomorrow. Because when you're struggling with your mental health, you're just trying to survive. And that's all I was doing. I was living every day just surviving. I wasn't actually living life, which sounds quite sad when I think about it now, because now it's a complete opposite. I am thriving. But that is all through personal development. And I don't regret a single thing that happened in my past. You know, I don't wish anything away. You know, I mean, you might obviously certain things, but you don't like, I feel like I live by the fact that everything that did happen to me was for a reason, you know. And I probably wouldn't be, I know it sounds really cliche, but I wouldn't be the person I am today if all of that bad stuff didn't happen. So I really do think that every experience that I've had has probably been a stepping stone and led up to this moment right now. But yeah, so I joined the personal develop the network marketing company, and you know they taught me how to get out of my comfort zone, which yes was scary at first. It always will be if you're not used to it. Um, and you know doing things out of your comfort zone, it's like exposure therapy, and I think when it's something that you're not used to doing, your brain is very unfamiliar with that situation, so your brain starts like ringing like alarm bells, and you think, oh my god, this is scary, I'm gonna die, but you're actually not, and you're gonna be fine. And you're just making a mountain out of a molehill. Well, your brain is. But when you get it to the other side of that fear and you actually do jump out of your comfort zone and you get the other side of it, you feel amazing. You feel actually alive. And that is the whole point in life, isn't it? To feel alive, right? Because we are alive. And I feel like you don't get that feeling when you stay in your comfort zone, because you think to yourself, oh, I'm just going to stay right here, right in my comfort zone where it's very, very safe. And nothing bad can happen to me. It's boring because you're doing the same shit different day. And that is how I felt. And it's really ironic to me, right? It's really ironic that I had major anxiety and I was scared of change because my brain was telling me, well, you don't know what's on the other side of that change. And it could be something really, really bad, you know? I was like thinking about all of the negative stuff that was on the other side of that change. But in reality, I was bored of the same shit different day. I felt like I was just living my life going through the motions. So I did need change and I do need change. Like I actually thrive from change. Yes, it's scary at first, but I love the feeling. Like I love the feeling of feeling alive, getting out of your comfort zone and doing something new. Like you know how when you do something new and then the novelty wears off, like you buy yourself something new and you're so excited and you get that feeling of excitement, but then after a while the novelty wears off and you're just like, oh well, it's just that now, you know? Like it's just the same. Like I'm so used to it, it's so familiar. So that's why you need constant change. You need to evolve constantly to get that feeling of thriving and being alive, you know? And who doesn't love that feeling? Because I do. But yeah, so I started learning how to get out of my comfort zone. I started learning how to, switch my mindset. There was there were a variety of different tools that we used. We used a habit tracker, which is great, by the way. So a habit tracker, if nobody knows, it's exactly what it says on the tin. It is something to track your habits, and you basically the habits that you are gonna, implement into your life should be positive, because I don't know why you would want to, you know, implement bad habits. But anyway, so basically, you would just write down whatever habit it is that you try and, to make yourself like make a constant in your life, right? Whether it's going to the gym, whether it's drinking more water, whether it's journaling every night or every morning, whatever it may be. And you would just write those habits down on one side, and then at the top, along the top, you would write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the days of the week. And you just tick them off every single day as you went along. And so we used that. And I remember we had a mentor in the network marketing company, and I used to send my habit tracker to my mentor every single day. And she would always be like, you know what it is? You are so like on it every single day. Like you're so on it. She was like, your habit tracker's always so full. And I think I did actually thrive from doing all of that. Um, but yeah, so that was a really good thing. That was a really good tool. But then they also would teach us affirmations as well. Now, affirmations are things that you say to yourself every single morning and every single day, like positive things. So you would look in the mirror and you would say, "Oh, like I am so successful. I am grateful for this. I have beautiful skin." Just certain things to change your mindset. So if you think you're ugly, then you would try and implement that affirmation, to see the positive, to have the positive effect every single day. And it sounds really stupid when you're not used to doing it. And I used to say, oh my God, I'm not saying that to myself. Like, that's just really daft. I'm going to, feel daft, feel cringe. But when you actually do it every single day and then you start getting used to it, it just becomes the norm. And that's just who I am now. Can you hear that wind? That is absolutely ridiculous. That wind. This weather has just been nodded for the past 3 days. And I'm sick of it. It's crazy. But getting back on point, yeah, if you do not follow me and you're not used to me, the thing you will get used to is me going off topic, and then I'll always get back onto the topic. I can't help it, it's just my brain. But yeah, so I also do have a website with one-to-one coaching, personal development coaching, and a membership as well. And I also do have my own podcast. So the membership and the one-to-one coaching, it's called Calm Confident Collective. The link for that website is in my Instagram bio and my TikTok bio, which I will put all of the handles in this video at the bottom for you to follow if you're interested, if you want to do that. And my podcast is called Life and Mindset Diaries. That is on Spotify and Amazon Music, and it's on a couple of other apps, but the apps aren't really known, so I don't tend to advertise those apps like it on those apps. I just advertise it on Spotify and Amazon because they're the most known things. So the link for the podcast is also in my Instagram and TikTok, I think, bio. But I also do have a podcast page on my Instagram and TikTok as well, which I will also link. But yeah, getting back to the personal development. So yeah, so there were loads of tools, loads of things that they taught us. And yes, at first I did think they were a bit odd, but because they were unfamiliar. But once I got used to doing it, I was away and I was just like, you know what, this is great. This is great. And although the network marketing company did not work out for me, I do not regret it one bit, because if I never joined that, I would never have started personal development, and I would never have switched my mindset, and I would never have gotten out of my comfort zone so much. So I started doing things that I never used to do, which is self-care. I mean, I've always loved skincare, but honestly, like, just taking the time out in my day for myself. I was a massive people pleaser, so I would always be running around like a headless chicken for everybody else, keeping in mind everyone else's feelings, disregarding my own. So I wasn't making myself a priority. So I learned how to actually make myself a priority and fill up my own cup before anybody else's. And now that was hard at first, because when you are trying not to be a people pleaser and prioritize yourself, you actually start thinking, oh, am I selfish? Because that is what some people might actually think. Some people might say that, yeah. They might say, you've become very selfish, you've changed. And yes, I've changed, that is the whole point. But I haven't changed for the worst. The only thing that's changed is that I'm not catering to you, I'm prioritizing myself first. So there will be people, that loved you the way they used to be because you were serving them. So when you stop serving them and you start serving yourself instead, they will be like, hold on a second, what is happening here? You used to be running around after me and caring about me all the time, and now you're caring about yourself. Well, you're selfish. You're not selfish. It's called having boundaries, hon. Boundaries are very, very important. And I never used to have any boundaries. And even if I tried to have boundaries, I would let every single person break those boundaries because I was a people pleaser. And I never used to say no to anyone. Never used to say no. So when I first started saying no to people, I felt really bad. But that was because I wasn't used to it. And I'd lived my life pleasing other people and wanting to make other people happy, right? But I'm not a circus animal. Like, this ain't a show. Like, this is my life, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna prioritize myself now. So I did get over that. I got over that. I got over people saying, "Oh well, I feel like you just don't care anymore." And I did have to explain to some people it isn't about you. It isn't personal, and it's not that I don't care about you. I do, but I care more about myself and my own feelings and what is best for me. And I have to put those boundaries in place. So if you do, if you do need help in that area, the membership is it's the greatest thing for you. Or the one-on-one coaching if you do want side-by-side help. But yeah, so that is basically just a little background, a little bit about me. I will be talking more about certain situations, and certain scenarios, certain experiences, mentioning those. Um, in videos, more videos to come. But basically, I just wanted to start this YouTube channel just to kind of show you, like, you know, talk about personal development, yes, but it's also going to be a little bit of a mix as well about, the things like life, basically, just my life, you know. Um, there might be a few things in there like skincare videos, you know, me taking Milo out for a walk. Milo is my little dog, my Shih Tzu, and that he is. And he is like my little sidekick. So I take him out on walks, and we love going to the beach. And he loves going into like the woods, and he loves grass, he loves sand. Um, so yeah, there will be a little bit of a mix, just kind of just me. So yeah, and you know, I'm still on my own personal development journey as well. So it's nice for you guys to follow along, you can experience things as I experience them in real time. So yeah, I just wanted to just share that with everyone just to help, because I know what it's like when you're struggling with your mindset. And not only that, I just love posting things, that I'm doing. But yeah, so you'll see a little bit of that. I'm going to be I've done a sound bath already, tried that once, and I really loved it. So I'm probably going to be doing another one of those or a few more of those. I'm going to be doing some healing retreats. So follow along for all of that content. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. And as I said, I will link all of my social media in this video and my podcast as well. So if you want to listen to that and get advice and tips, then you are more than welcome. But thanks for watching, guys.